So, as y'all may know, I've stated a couple times on this platform that I have OCD and I suffered with intrusive thoughts for quite some time. And I want to take this time to open up to y'all about my OCD story and educate y'all on what OCD and intrusive thoughts are. So, yeah. What's going on with my peoples, man? Appreciate y'all tuning back into the channel. If y'all haven't already, man, make sure y'all subscribe and turn on post notifications so y'all don't miss me when I upload. And as y'all can see by the title, we're going to be talking about my OCD story. Now, I have told this story a handful of times. I haven't really told it a lot because of how uncomfortable it made me when I was telling it. But I feel like I'm at a point where I can tell it and I'm not, triggered by it. I might get triggered by it, but not really. But I don't know. I don't remember every little detail to it, so it, the story might not be too, detailish, if that's a word. But yeah, try to stick with me, and yeah. But before we get into that, make sure y'all follow me on all my social medias. I'm gonna put them right here. And yeah. Let's get into this video, man. Now, before we get into my story, I want to educate y'all on what OCD and intrusive thoughts are. So, yeah, we're going to start off with OCD, which stands for obsessive compulsive disorder. OCD is a disorder that causes us to obsess over, triggers such as intrusive thoughts that focuses on topics like harm, sexuality, religion, health, and many more aspects in our lives. And an intrusive thought is a thought that is unwanted. And these thoughts cause a lot of discomfort, anxiety, and fear. In the world that we live in today, the term intrusive thoughts get misused a lot, and it's really offensive to us who really deals with intrusive thoughts, because if y'all really experience what intrusive thoughts are, y'all wouldn't say like, oh, I let my intrusive thoughts win. And yeah, that's not, because someone who actually deal with intrusive thoughts will never let their intrusive thoughts win and don't ever want to let their intrusive thoughts win. The word or the term that y'all are using or trying to use is impulsive thoughts. These are thoughts that y'all don't mind roaming in your mind. Like, for example, like I said, I hear this a lot lately. Like when people like, I seen a video, like somebody was like, when I let my intrusive thoughts win, and they were just blurting out like random sayings. And it's like, those wasn't like intrusive because it didn't bother you. It didn't cause any type of fear, discomfort, or anxiety. And you didn't mind it being in your mind. You didn't mind blurting it out. So the right term that you are using or trying to use is impulsive, not intrusive. Because when it comes to the intrusive thoughts, one, we do not try to, like, we don't blurt it. We don't ever want to blurt it out. You know what I'm saying? We honestly hide, the intrusive thought from the world. Like I said, the thought caused a lot of discomfort, anxiety, fear, and yeah, we will never let our intrusive thoughts win. Because another like sentence or a phrase I ever heard, like when it comes, another time where I heard somebody misused, intrusive thought was when they was like, I let my intrusive thoughts win and I dyed my hair a certain color. Like, that's not an intrusive thought. That is a impulsive thought. But yeah, I can't fault them for misusing these words, because the world is not properly like educated on these terms, and it's time that that we do become educated on these terms, because like I said, misusing these terms is really offensive to us who really deals with intrusive thoughts. So yeah, but that's a whole nother separate video. I'm definitely gonna make another video going more in depth in what OCD is, what triggers are, what type of compulsions we fall into, because it's more than just intrusive thoughts, and it's more compulsions than the one I named. So yeah, on to the story. My first time ever experiencing an intrusive thought. Before I get into that, I'm sorry for the hold up, but let me give y'all a little background on who Karan was before this even happened. I was 17 or 18 at the time. I was in a 1-year relationship. Of course, it wasn't a perfect relationship because no relationship is perfect. But at the time, I definitely, loved it. I was in a high school. I was gonna say the name, but I'm not gonna say the name. I was in high school. This school was very diverse in many ways, in race, in religion, sexuality, in many ways. And this school also supported the LGBTQ community heavily, which I never had a problem with. I never had a problem with the LGBTQ community. I actually had friends in the LGBTQ community way before it was even a thing. And yeah, so with all that being said, keep all of that what I just told y'all in mind, okay? Keep that in mind. So now let's get deep into the story. To this day, I don't know how this thought just came. I'm recording this the day of me editing and dropping this video because I've noticed, like, at this part right here, this is where I was supposed to mention the LGBTQ thing that I mentioned before. And basically, this is how the thoughts that I experience starts to, this is where that LGBTQ thing comes to play. This is how it all started. So let me explain it. A lot of things played a part on why I experienced, my intrusive thoughts, which I will explain in another video. But I mainly think, well, I know for sure that, being around a school that heavily supported, the LGBTQ community, and then seeing multiple relationships in the LGBTQ community in that school, it triggered, thoughts in my mind about, my sexuality and stuff like that. Around that time, like I said, it was like around like 2018, 17. I don't know if kids do this now, but we all know, like, if in middle school, high school, we all got that one crowd of like males that act sus and, do sus things to each other. And that was something that I was around often. So yeah, that didn't make the thoughts any better. Like I said, a lot of things stemmed from, me having these thoughts. But at the time I was recording yesterday, I didn't remember this, but yeah, it started to click when I was watching. So I don't know what part I'm gonna put this, like this part. I don't know what part of the video I'm gonna put this clip in, but yeah, that is the reason why I mentioned that, this school heavily supported the LGBTQ community. And yeah, back to the video. But I remember exactly where I was at, what I was doing. I don't know if anybody else who suffered with OCD and intrusive thought like experienced this, but it's like I can call back like the exact I can call back the experience that I had with my first intrusive thought. Not the thought itself, which is crazy, but everything else, like what I was doing, the time of day it was, where I was at, like I can recall all that. But I still don't know like what made this a thing. Like what happened? Like how did this happen? But anyways, I was at school and I was transitioning from lunch. I was going to my next period. And I was walking to class and the intrusive thought just hit me out of nowhere. And this intrusive thought surrounded my sexuality. Now, I'm not gonna lie. Words can't even explain the amount of discomfort, anxiety, and fear that I felt after having this thought. I honestly could not focus for the rest of the day after experiencing this. And all I wanted to do was go home. And what was so bad, like the bad thing about it was I had 1 hour of school left. And I Like I said, I couldn't even focus on school. I was in my head for the rest of the day. And like I told you in the beginning, I don't know if I said it in this video because I did a lot of takes, but if I didn't, I'm gonna say it now. I don't remember like every little detail, of course, but I can explain like what happened from that point on. So that's like that's what I'm going to do. And after that experience, it only got worse. The thoughts got worse. I started to experience more thoughts because this was the only thing that I could think about at the time, because like I was scared, you know, I didn't know what was going on, you know. I just kept having intrusive thoughts about my sexuality. And I'm gonna go a little more, I said I was gonna make another video going in depth in what like these thoughts can consist of, which I will, but for this video I'm gonna list some things that I'm gonna list some of the thoughts that I was experiencing at that time. So there were sexual thoughts. It was me doing sexual things to other I was experiencing sexual thoughts towards the same gender. It was either me doing something to them or them doing something to me. And yeah, that's where it started off at. And like I said, from that point on, it just got worse. And yeah. And before y'all comment, because I genuinely feel like these comments are going to come soon. I know, yes, it's okay to be curious about, you know, your sexuality. It's okay to, you know, explore or whatever, but that's not what I wanted. That's not what I want for my life. I knew I was a straight male, always have been and always want to be. And like I said, I have no problem with, you know, the LGBTQ community or anything, but like I said, that's just not the life I wanted for me. And like I said, with me having these thoughts just constantly pile up in my head, you know, it just forcefully, like I promise y'all, like these thoughts was literally like just drilled inside of my mind, and like I couldn't do anything about it. I tried to stop it no matter what, but it just got worse and worse and worse. And yeah, so it got to a point where I looked up like, I'm having thoughts that I don't want. What is, you know, going on? And the first thing that popped up was intrusive thoughts. So I'm like, okay, I found the answer. You know, I'm having intrusive thoughts. That's what it is. And so that gave me some type of relief. You know, it helped me calm down. So I just knew that, because at first I felt like this wasn't normal. I felt like I was the only one going through this. So when I found out about that, I'm like, okay, this is something common. It's normal. I'm cool. But of course, that didn't stop the thoughts. So, like I said, the thoughts just got worse and worse. And what made it even more worse was, like I said, I was in a relationship at the time. I was in a happy relationship. And all I could think about was these intrusive sexual thoughts that I did not want. And yeah, so it got to a point where I looked up, like, I'm having unwanted sexual thoughts towards the same gender or something like that, where it's something in that matter. And around that time, the subtype that I was going through was called homosexuality obsessive compulsive disorder. But what it's called now is sexual orientation obsessive compulsive disorder. And yeah, sexual orientation OCD is a subtype of OCD that causes someone to obsess over the triggers surrounding their sexuality, which leads them into doing compulsive actions to give them that reassurance about their sexuality, or to relieve the anxiety and fear from the trigger they experience surrounding their sexuality. So with me experiencing these thoughts constantly, you know, I fell into a lot of compulsive actions, you know, watching adult films, you know, to, you know, check if I still, you know, got aroused by, you know, the things that I like. I would, you know, honestly, from time to time, force myself into relationships with, you know, with the females that I had crushes on. I would change the thoughts that I would experience. You know, these are just a couple of compulsions that, you know, we fall into with dealing with, you know, not just, you know, sexual orientation OCD itself. You know, it's these compulsions can fall into other subtypes as well, which I will, like I said, I will do another video on. But yeah, but yeah, I eventually found out that this was, you know, a thing. This was very common. But even with me knowing that this was a thing, I still felt alone because no one was talking about it at all. So honestly, I just basically suffered in silence. You know, this honestly stopped me from doing a lot of things. It caused me to isolate myself from a lot of friends and family. At the time that I did hang around friends and family, it made it hard for me to enjoy the time that I had with family, because I would just have these thoughts nonstop. And of course, now I know why I had these thoughts nonstop. Back then, I didn't know. But like I said, that's another video that, you know, I will make. But yeah, it eventually, I don't know, it just got to a point where, you know, I don't know, I just like I said in my last video where I said, like, you know, the never give up video, like, despite me having this, you know, I tried my best to act like nothing was going on. You know, I still pursued relationships. I still got into relationships that I, you know, enjoyed, that I had love for sure. At times this did get in the way of, you know, me, you know, just things that happened in relationships. Like, I ain't gonna go into too much details, but it definitely got in the way from time to time. And yeah, that's basically it. That's the story. And now we here. I basically, you know, I still deal with intrusive thoughts every day, but it don't bother me as much. I don't get into episodes as much. Honestly, it's rare. And yeah, like, and I will make videos about like how I got to this point. I'll make videos on, you know, other subtypes that there are out there when it comes to dealing with OCD and intrusive thoughts. And yeah, I really don't know how long this video is. And I didn't think the story would be that simple. I thought it was gonna be more complex, but yeah. It wasn't as bothering or triggering, you know, as I thought it was. It wasn't as triggering as I thought it was gonna be. I hope that makes sense. I'm not triggered as much. I'm really not triggered at all, to be honest. A little worried, a little nervousness, but not too much. But yeah, that's the story. I hope y'all, I wouldn't say enjoy the story, but I appreciate y'all for listening, you know, letting me open up to y'all. And yeah, like I said, more videos on the way of me, you know, talking about, you know, OCD and intrusive thoughts. And yeah, I'm back advocating for OCD because, like I said, I used to suffer in silence with this, and like it was no type of resources out there, you know, to help me get through this. Now, don't get me wrong, right now there are people talking about it, and I'm very grateful for it, but it still I don't know, it's still like, it's not pushed out yet. Like, I still feel like it's not talked about enough, and I don't know, maybe I could be that person that just, you know, really be, you know, I wouldn't say that like the best advocate or whatever, but I can be somebody that really like get it out there, you know, and that mean a lot to me, honestly, because like I said, I suffer with this, like I suffer in silence with this for so long, and yeah, I'm ready to get back into helping others, and yeah, that's it. So yeah, I appreciate y'all tuning in this video. Make sure y'all leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and turn on post notifications so y'all don't miss a beat when I upload. And yeah, make sure y'all follow me on my socials. I'm gonna put them right here. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, if y'all haven't already, make sure y'all check out my last video right here, where I spoke about never giving up, because, you know, we don't give up no matter what we going through, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's it, man. I appreciate y'all once again. Hope y'all have a great day, great night, whenever y'all watching this. And yeah, as always,
I'm gone.